if you live abroad or you live in your home country in Nigeria, or you intend to travel abroad, you need to know more about the income distribution of these countries. Now, let's use UK as an example. You see, people in the UK, they realize that they cannot become wealthy. They are beginning to envy the system that they left in Nigeria, because they realize that you can only become wealthy in your home country. Of course, the richest Nigerian is in Nigeria. The richest African is in Africa. The richest Chinese is in China. So the best place you can get wealthy very fast, it's in your home country. So the people in the UK, they begin to complain, and they're tired of this, and they call it rat race. They realize that no matter how you work, you can never break into the class of the rich. Now, let's look at this UK salary distribution overview. Look at the blue bar. You will see that about 65% of the UK earners, people in the UK, they earn less than 30k pounds annually. Now, these people are regarded as the average income earners in the UK. They can afford the basic things, accommodation, food, clothing, but they realize that they can't get the best cars, they can't get the best houses, and they begin to envy the system they left in Nigeria. Let's look at the income share in Nigeria and in UK. Look at the screen. The red bar represents the income share in Nigeria and UK. The blue bar represents income share in Nigeria and UK. Now you can clearly see that the red bar, this means that 10% of the people in Nigeria controls 50% of the total resources in Nigeria. Whereas in the UK, same 10% controls 30% of the resources. You can see the disparities. Now moving to the blue bar, 50% of the population in Nigeria controls 13% of the resources in Nigeria. These people are regarded as the average Nigerians. They earn below 500k. We could also say the middle class falls in this category, the poor falls in this category. Then moving to the UK, 50% of the population controls 25% of the income. Now, these people are regarded as the average earners in the UK. These are the people who complain. These are the foreigners who complain that they cannot become wealthy in the UK. And now they envy the system in Nigeria, forgetting that there's a huge disparity between the average earners and the rich. You can see in the UK, the difference is not much, 25 and 30, while in Nigeria, 13% and 50% of the resources controlled. Now, people in the UK, they have more advantage. So if you stay abroad, you have more advantage. You can invest in the system in abroad, but you can never become wealthy. Why? Because you don't have enough resources. You don't control enough resources to invest. Now, the only place you can become wealthy is by investing in your home country. Now, those people in Nigeria, those average earners, you cannot become wealthy in Nigeria with your average income. And the problem with the people, the rich class in Nigeria that controls the 50% resources, these are the elites. The problem is that they invest in the wrong sectors. I'm not saying it's bad entirely, but they invest in sectors that do not create jobs. They invest in sectors that do not boost the productivity of the economy. They invest in real estate, they invest in oil, and they invest in religious structures. They ignore agriculture, they ignore industrial sectors, which will improve the productivity and lift the average people's income up. Now, if you're in Nigeria, it will be very difficult to break into this rich class. But if you live abroad, it's easier to break into this rich class in Nigeria than to break into this rich class in the UK. As a result, the wealth in Nigeria is concentrated in the hands of the few. It leads to imbalance in the society. It leads to rising crime rates, insecurity, the big middle class, and poverty. Being an average earner in Nigeria or in abroad, particularly in the UK, you're in what they call poverty. Now, let's look at this poverty trap diagram on the screen. Being an average earner, you have low income. Let's move clockwise direction. With low income, you have low level of education and healthcare. Those living in the first world country, they have a better advantage because they have access to better educational system and healthcare. That's why they are being taxed heavily compared to those in Nigeria. Low income leads to low levels of human capital. You don't have enough money to invest in yourself, which will lead to low productivity, and that's low income. You are trapped. With low income, let's move anti-clockwise direction. Low income leads to low savings, leads to low investment and low economic growth, and back to low income. This is the system in Nigeria. You are trapped. So, to those living in the UK or in this first world country, you have two choices of breaking out from this trap. One is by investing in your home country. As an average earner, you do not have enough money to invest in the system, so you have to take advantage of the exchange rate to invest in your country to have higher return on investment. Second is by investing in human capital. Invest in your personal growth, take that professional courses, take that professional trainings to make you competitive in the market so you can get a better paying job and have enough savings to invest. Whereas if you live in Nigeria, you do not have this advantage. If you invest in human capital, the system do not really favor human capital, do not really favor innovations. Now, because you earn low, you don't have enough money to invest. Now you need a miracle or a breakthrough to come out from this poverty trap. Nigeria. Remain your 5 years economist.